everyone, I'm Danielle. Welcome to Danielle's Garden, and y'all just saw footage of me installing my shade cloth over my tomatoes, and then I also moved my strawberry ladder over to in front of my house, and I'm going to put drip in that. So let's see how that goes. It has drip in it, but not in a way that connects to the current drip. So I'm just changing it out and making it a bit more sleek, because the last one was all 1/2-inch tubing and this one is just going to be mainly 1/4 inch. Okay, so what I did is I have my 1/2-inch supply running under the rocks. So I pulled it up, put in a T, and carried 1/2-inch supply up and to here. I tried burying this back down. I'll figure it out later. And then for each of the levels, there's a 1/4 inch of the drip tubing, not the emitter tubing, but the actual drip tubing. And it goes on each layer. Now this one I want to pull closer to the strawberries roots, so let me pull that in a little bit. These aren't flowering, they really weren't fruiting, doing anything, so I'm hoping that I can encourage them to do more by moving them to this spot. Okay, so I have my 1/2-inch tubing, and then there's 3 sets of the emitter tubing, and I used the coupling to do that, the ones that I don't like, but I'm using them. And then it has an end stop here, and so I wanted to get this done before I ran the drip today. I also want to get these on drip, these 5 salvia, but I'm not totally sure how I want to do that. I have to figure that out. I think I'm going to take a 1/4 inch from the supply line over here, connect it into a drip emitter, maybe. I'm not sure. It's just a really long run, and what I learned is that if you run it more than like 4 or 5 feet, it loses like pressure. So I can't run that drip tubing like in a big circle. So I'll have to figure that out, but I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the drip and I'll show you how it works. Okay, and so here it is running, and it'll just take some time, and water will get to this end. It's always just really heavy at the beginning, and I'm not really totally sure why it loses so much pressure in a short distance. Like, this is not a long run of drip at all, but it is working and it'll be fine. So the strawberry drip is done, and I'm gonna let that run. So three days ago, I found a hornworm on my tomato, and let me show you what that damage looks like. So this branch, as you can see, has no leaves, and so this is what hornworm damage looks like. And I see another one. This is good. Okay, so let me show you. So this was the first indication that I had a hornworm, was this. So I came out, and this tomato, the sides were gone, the top was gone, and there was a hornworm probably about the size of my pinky on this. And so I took that off, and I was like, okay, I need to do something. So I did some research about where hornworms come from. Like, is it like butterfly, this, that, and the other? And it actually turns out that they are soil based, and that they hatch underground and then they come up and they eat plants. And so I got some garden dust that is supposed to take care of hornworms, and I did not put that on the plants. I just put it on kind of the mulch around the plants. However, I'm glad that I noticed this one, and I'm going to show you what they look like. So this is a hornworm, if it'll focus. There it goes. This is a hornworm, and you can see on its tail there's a horn. So I'm going to take this off and kill it, because they will destroy plants. There is no doubt. And I have not had hornworms before, and I'm just kind of very stressed about it because I cannot just lose these plants. I need these tomatoes to survive, and I don't like killing things, especially big things like that. So I'll knock it off, and then there's someone who feeds them to their chickens. I don't have chickens. So I'm going to get this off. I'm going to take care of it, but they are a major issue, and it sucks that I have to deal with it, but it is what it is. So let me take care of this. So I could not get it to pull from the leaf, so I just cut it off. And I'm going to take this back here and step on it. And based on my research, hornworms stay in the worm stage for about 3-ish weeks, and then they turn into like a moth butterfly situation, and then lay eggs, and then the life cycle continues. So these are something that I'm going to be dealing with probably the entire season, just because they're coming from the ground. So it's not like I can see an egg on a leaf and deal with it. I'm going to have to watch for them actually once they start eating my plants. So it is what it is. At least it's not like I went on vacation, came back, and there were no tomato plants. But I have some beautiful tomatoes growing. I'm really pleased. And as long as I can keep the hornworms in check, I should be good. Now for the shade cloth, the reason that I didn't do all of one or all the other is because that way when the sun comes over, it's still getting some direct sun both ways. And these are not really flowering at all, whereas these are flowering and whatnot. So I just didn't want to cover one completely and then leave the other one completely exposed. And this is just a shade cloth I used last year, so that's why, if I rebought it, I probably would have purchased one that goes from here to here. But it is what it is. I'm reusing what I had, and this will overall work just fine. So the last thing I'm going to do is a summer planter. Well, I have two planters, but they're not going to match. However, this is a perennial for me, and I'm just not sure where I'm going to put it. So I'm going to put it in a pot first, and it is pretty dry, and it is a dahlia, and I just think that it is gorgeous. It's got dark foliage, bright pink flowers, and I got it from Home Depot, and it's the Dahlia Magenta bicolor. And when I went, they didn't have a lot of them, and I just got one, but I did go back and they had more. So they have restocked since I got it, and I was like, should I get one? They had some in smaller sizes, but I'm just sticking with one because I think that this is just gorgeous. And then at a local garden center in the town over, I got a chili pepper coleus, and this thing is huge. So I know that it is very going to be happy to get out of this container. So I've got the coleus, and then I've got 3, and these were all on sale. These were a 4 for $12. And this is the Alonia Big Cherry Angelonia. And I just thought that that was gorgeous. And there's a lot of new buds on some of these, so it'll be blooming for a while. Okay, so I am set on something like this. So I'm gonna have the coleus push forward. I'm gonna have the Angelonia to the side, and then I'm gonna have the dahlia be the back of it, kind of like that. And what I really like is that the coleus really brings in the darkness of the dahlia, and it connects to the color of the flowers and the Angelonia colors. Like, it all goes together. So let's get this planted. Watered in, get all the dirt rinsed off, and I'm just going to let it sit and drain because it's going to be heavy, and then I'll move it into its spot probably sometime tomorrow. Okay, so thank you so much for tagging along. I am glad to get the shade cloth up. I did not mention the weather. We were supposed to hit a 100 upcoming, but we are consistently 95 or above with 70% humidity from what the forecast will tell me. So I really needed to get that shade cloth up. I'm glad that I got my strawberries hooked up. They're watered, they're happy, and I got to take care of some plants that needed to get into a container. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.